There I was, a fresh college graduate standing in the middle of my childhood bedroom, surrounded by a mountain of half-packed suitcases and a world of uncertainty. I remember holding a worn-out globe in my hands, my fingers tracing the contours of countries I'd only ever dreamed about. That's when the phone rang. It was the Peace Corps, ready to whisk me away on an adventure I'd never forget. I found myself in a small village in West Africa. I was there to teach English, but it quickly became apparent that I would be learning just as much, if not more, from my new community. I recall my first day at school. Armed with my lesson plans and a rudimentary knowledge of the local language, I walked in, only to be greeted by a sea of curious faces. I introduced myself, stumbling over the unfamiliar syllables of their language. The classroom erupted into laughter. It was my first lesson. Humility comes in many forms, sometimes even a classroom full of giggling children. Over time, I began to find my rhythm. I learned to haggle at the local markets, to navigate the dusty village paths, and to appreciate the simple joy of a shared meal under the starlit African sky. But of course, the journey wasn't always smooth sailing. There were the unexpected moments of adventure, like the time when I found myself playing the role of an impromptu midwife, assisting in the birth of a baby in a mud hut lit only by a single kerosene lamp, or when I had to face my fear of heights to cross a rickety rope bridge during a torrential downpour. There were the funny moments too, like when I tried to teach the village elders how to play baseball, only to have them insist that the bat was a tool for harvesting yams, or the time when a goat decided to make a meal out of my lesson plans. And yes, there were dramatic moments. I remember the heart-wrenching goodbye when I had to leave a sick child at the hospital in the city, not knowing if I would see him again, or the feeling of helplessness when a crop failure threatened the food security of the village. But for every challenge there was a triumph. For every tear, there was a smile. And for every goodbye, there was the promise of a new hello. My Peace Corps journey taught me about resilience, about the power of community, and about the universal language of laughter and love. It showed me that we are all more alike than we are different. Now, standing here years later, I realize that my time in the Peace Corps didn't just shape who I am, it defined me. It was a journey of 1,000 steps, 1,000 stories, and 1,000 memories, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, here's to the next adventure, to the next lesson, and to the next story. Because the journey, as they say, is just beginning.